Welcome to another AVID Chat. David Harple and Jack Arnold. Jack, it's a beautiful day. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate it. If you're joining us today, this is going to be a AVID focused chat. Quite frankly, we need your help. We've been doing this, I think, is like 57th video that we've been doing, and we need your feedback. Although we've been doing them, we enjoy them. We have had some comments and some emails and some talks with clients and non-clients about what we're talking about. The main reason we do these is so we provide benefit. So we're going to ask you, and at some point we're actually going to put together a survey and get you a link. But without getting some sort of feedback, Jack and I are just going to keep talking about things that we think are important. And that doesn't necessarily,
Right.
one, help you, or two, help Avid grow. And at the end of the day, we do want to grow with like-minded people. So that's a little bit about what we're going to do today. Why is feedback so valuable in the context, first maybe to Avid, but then just in general, because I do think this is applicable to financial planning.
Yeah, I think obviously, you don't really know if you're on the right path if you're not really getting much feedback. It would be super helpful to get some feedback. Like you said, we jump on here and we talk about, a lot of times it's taken from certain situations or things that come up a lot. We've been doing this a really long time. Things that are kind of, we think are universal, kind of evergreen, that they don't really change. I have a little bit of a personal, I'm not big on
Bias?
like market talk. Yeah, I'm not big on the market talk stuff. Not because I don't think that stuff's interesting. I think the day-to-day gyrations of the market are pointless. There's not much, there's a lot of noise. You can't pull a lot from that. It doesn't really help you inform as to what to do next. I'm more of a, let's talk about some bigger ideas that are kind of generally applicable and have a lot longer shelf life than, what's going on in the market this week. So we tend to not talk about that, but that could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe people do want to know what my opinion is on whatever the market moves of the week are, even though I'm going to be probably just as uninformed as most people, because I don't know from week to week exactly what's going on with the market, short of, it went up, it went down. So anyways, long way of saying it's good to get feedback. I want to know what people want to hear, and I don't want to just be guessing. So any feedback to say, I'd like to hear more of this or less of this, or the audio sucks, or whatever, anything to help improve
Yeah.
would be great. And I think that's, kind of generally applicable to most things. Is if you're doing something, getting some, I guess technical term would be like a feedback loop. You want tight feedback loops. You want to do something and get immediate feedback so you can make adjustments to make it better. And the more that you can kind of make those feedback loops tighter, the better, because then you can constantly improve, I think, is what it is. So,
Right. Well, and I think, tying this back to the investments and financial life planning and the things that we focus on is investments in general, since they're so unknown and so sporadic in terms of their returns. This would be kind of a long-term money management philosophy, not stock buying and trying to buy low, sell high quickly. It's going to take 10 or 15 years before you actually start to see most portfolios produce some sort of consistent return, which would then gauge, okay, am I being successful? That's a long time to go. And that's why I think you're saying is, in the short term, if we already know it's going to take 15 years before I even really know what this thing does, then what else are our measures of success? And we would say mastering cash flow. We've done videos on monitoring your debt, growing your net worth, things that you can actively control, and you can look back in 3 months, 6 months, and say, okay, I did this well, or I'm not doing that well. And those will be valuable to help you financially become smarter and in a better position in the short term. Investments, they're going to do their thing unless you're literally, shooting for the stars and just randomly buying stuff. I just think it's not an immediate base to gauge success on.
right. And a lot of that is luck. Year to year, it's a pretty random, but certainly week to week, That's what I'm saying. Like we got on here every week and I said, this week Jerome Powell came out and said something about insurance. It's just like, okay, terrific. I'm not sure what that does to me personally on what I should be doing with my income, because I went to work this week like I went every other week and I got a paycheck this week. What he's saying, like, it's just not particularly valuable. And then a week from now, things are completely different. I mean, even just COVID's obviously of the times, but there's going to be something else. There'll be some other big event that will come along that will be unforeseen, that will happen, and anything that I would be predicting or talking about today would exclude that, because I don't know that it's coming. Anything I would have talked about prior to January of 20, February of 20, whenever kind of COVID first became a thing, would have gone out the window as soon as COVID came, in a complete waste of my breath. Like, it's pointless. So I'm just not, that's what I'm saying, is like, there's not a whole lot of valuable insight as to predicting what the market's going to do. But I think there are, this is like the macro micro thing. Like, you have the broad picture, which is kind of what's going on in the country or the world or whatever. But then the micro things are kind of what you can control. And if you're focusing more on those big macro things and to the detriment of those micro things,
right?
You feel as though you're being whipped around by, who's the president or something. We've talked about a million times. When in actuality, it has nothing to do with it. It's more just little micro things that you can be doing to control what you can control. So it's just a really long way of saying, we want to do videos that are helpful, and we do think that getting feedback is super valuable, but we want to make sure that we're doing things that, if we talked about it today, if somebody came across the YouTube channel or the email, or you had a friend that you said, oh, this is good, and you send it to them, that it's just as valuable 6 months from now, 5 years from now, than it was when we're doing it today. That's the hope anyways, as to what we're doing. And I just think random market talk is worthless next week. It's kind of ephemeral. It doesn't really, it's in the wind, really, the moment. And we do these things, we record these videos. This video won't come out for probably maybe it's 2 weeks from now. So there's a little bit of a lag, because you have to edit them and get them ready out to go out. There's a little bit of a lag. So if I was talking about something today, who knows what the environment's going to be in 2 weeks when the video comes out. It's like the things move so quickly.
Yeah.
So
basically what you're saying is, we need more direction from you, the audience, to say, this is what we'd like to hear. If it happens to be, what do you think of whatever, emerging markets and the debt ceiling and all of that, fine. We can throw it in there. We both, AVID, doesn't believe that's going to provide a whole lot of value to you and getting better, mastering your finances. So we'll definitely do it. But I think it's more along the lines of the deep, more valuable questions that I think people go through all the time. I just, like, a great one is, I'm getting a raise next year. What do you think we should do with it? Well, one, I don't think the stock market has anything to do with that question. And unless you know exactly where you stay in terms of values in your overall picture and where you want to be, it's a really difficult question. That needs to take time. But there are guiding principles that can help you answer that question. We get that all the time.
Yes, exactly. What am I even doing? I've gotten past the point where I'm worried about the day-to-day survival and being able to buy food, and like my basic needs are met. I have plenty of, my needs are met. I don't worry about the bills. I can pay none of those things. I've reached a level where I'm not really sure. It's kind of the sky's the limit at this point. I'm not really sure what to do. How do I make sense of that? And how do I get some direction? What kind of things should I be focusing on? That's, I think, somewhat universal. I had an uncle die, and surprisingly to me, I inherited $250,000. What on earth do? I never expected this. It kind of fell in my lap, and now I don't know what to do. Right. I don't want to be a moron about it, but what should I do with it first? What just has happened before. So these are kind of normal things, and that's whether the stock market's going up or down tomorrow, these things happen. So yeah, we want to make some evergreen stuff that's valuable to you, that you could watch it in a month and it would still be valuable. But what other kind of things do people want to hear from us? Would be great to know. And like you said, if it is, what do you think about something? I'm happy to put it in here. I don't have a particular issue with doing it, but I don't know how valuable my opinion is going to be versus the 1,000 other opinions that are talking about what's going on today or tomorrow.
Right. Exactly. So jump on YouTube, check out our channel, make a comment, like the video. We're going to get out a survey that will ask specifically some questions that will help guide future videos. As I mentioned, we're nearing 60. We're about to start a new year, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So we want to be valuable. And also, negative feedback's good, right? We've been doing this long enough that it's okay. Tell us you don't like Jack's red shirt and you wish you would black all the time. Bad on your eyes. I don't know.
Yeah,
or you like
exactly.
variety. Change it up. But give us some feedback. It really would help Avid. It'd help us grow. It'd hopefully help you guys grow. And that's what this video is all about. Getting better.
Yep, exactly. But don't make fun of my shirt or I will find it.
Actually, especially his hair. He gets really sensitive with his hair.
Yeah, off limits for sure.
All right. Well, Jack, have a great day. Another good chat. See you next week.